Alright. Y'all enjoying the chill and calm Nintendo music I put on? So, how's the stream going? Is everything good? Like, any audio issues? Is, like, the music too loud or something? Or am I not loud enough? Gonna try and get in, gonna try and get into everything within a few minutes time. Just gotta get the word out. Okay, audio seems to be good. So, I'm feeling we could probably wait like a couple more minutes and wait for people to show up before we get into things. So, how have you all been doing today? You had good days? Just like a lot of people we got in chat, we got Levi Master Animations Official, we got Ravenclaw Nimbus, we got What a Recorder Buddy, we got Pin the Great, we got Metallicuke, we got Blood Rose, we got Mr. Men, Little Miss Commentaries, Rants, and more. Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I wouldn't want to live stream without any music, so I just put a good 3 hour long compilation of chill Nintendo music up. Because it's like the one thing I could think of that wouldn't get this stream copyright stricken. I've been messing around with OBS because I haven't really used it for streaming, so I was trying to get acquainted with it yesterday, and I got some fancy transitions. It's like when we start the stream, it'll go from this to this, and then back to this. Yes, I agree, Larry. That is a very wise comment. We're going to explain what the stream is in a few minutes. Just want to wait for more people to get here. But yeah. As of yesterday, it was like 1 year when I started making VeggieTales animations. Yeah, Pen in the chat explained it. So basically, I'm just going to be going through the 13 animations posted on this channel here, and I want to explain some fun stuff about them, like any production issues I faced with Intuit, or how quick or slow it got me to actually make them. Because, yeah. I think it's gonna be a fun time. Oh, thank you for the compliment on the Ryan George animation. That's probably like my favorite of the ones currently on the channel. So it really means a lot that I liked it. Alright, I think we should be good to start. I'll just probably turn down the music a smidge. Alright, I think we should be good. Oh. Alright. Alright. I think with all of that, we should be good to go. So let me just switch to the new screen. It's my YouTube channel. Yeah. I'm gonna try and minimize this just so it's like a lot more neat. But yeah. So, for anyone just joining, welcome. So, as of yesterday, I have been doing VeggieTales animations on this YouTube channel for 1 year. Oh, the name of the Pokemon track that just passed, it was Abandoned Lot of Dreams from Pokemon Black and White. But enough about that. So yeah, I've been doing VeggieTales animations for a year. It was really fun. I've never done animation prior to starting the channel, but I really wanted to get into it last year, so I started making videos, and now we're at the point where we are now. And I think that the stream would be pretty boring if it was just me trying to explain everything on this channel, so I decided to bring in a guest for this stream. They are someone I found right outside of a Walmart. Please say hello to Pin de Great.
Huh?
Yeah?
Oh, sorry. Desync. I was listening to the stream audio, and then like there's a bit of a desync between the stream audio and the Discord. Hello, everybody. I'm Pin, known online pretty much anywhere as Pin de Great, mostly on YouTube. Currently working on my own stuff, but enough about me. Let's get on with the Veggie animations.
All right. So we'll just pause the music right here. Is the delay from like?
Good. Share your. The delay. It's like at least 10 seconds.
Oh.
Between stream. So could you like share your screen on Discord so I can see it?
Yes, I can. I should have set this up beforehand. But hey. Yeah. So. Yeah. So we might as well get into what's in video 1, which is VeggieTales Test Animation 1, Tell Me the Whole Thing Again. Oh, hey, Finn is in chat. Oh, and Blind Lincoln, Media 2006, and more. Blind Lincoln, Blind Lemon Lincoln is in the chat.
Go.
Yeah. Glad everyone's popping in. Clever Hilarious 20, hello. So, yeah, I believe we should, without any further delay, get into the videos. So here's video 1. So, I don't know what compelled me to start wanting to make VeggieTales animations, but, like, I wanted to in, like, 2021, but it wasn't until 2022 when I actually started it. And basically what I was thinking of is that if I wanted to make a test animation, One thing I had was this one line from the Lego movie, and I was thinking, oh, somebody has probably animated this line with the VeggieTales character before, but as far as my knowledge, no one did prior to this. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I can just animate this. And I have not watched this in months, so it's probably going to be very bad compared to like the quality of like my most recent videos on the channel. But yeah.
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me
Yeah.
the whole thing again. I was listening.
Oh, the floor. The floor rose. Just like it got higher a bit. Yeah. Look. Oh. Yeah. Oh, hey Don. But yeah.
In case.
I mean, for the first animation, I don't think it's that bad. Just because, I don't know, like, I think I had, like, started watching some VeggieTales episodes, like, rewatching some episodes to notice how exactly they'd move.
Crystal,
Huh?
you're sharing the wrong window with me. You're showing me your
Oh,
YouTube channel.
okay. Yeah. I am good at streaming.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. Now can you see it?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I'm very good at things. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll replay it for Pin right here.
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, oh, autoplay is on. And
I think I got it.
yeah. And looking at everything in the
Oh.
actual animation.
So chunky during the scrubbing.
Tell me the
Yes, it is. Yeah. The Larry's eyes are just like completely dead
I think I got it.
throughout
Just in case.
the whole animation, like once he starts looking up.
Yeah, no emotion to the eyes at all.
Yeah. Like he's looking down here. He blinks weirdly, like it's like off sync for some, and then he's just looking at us for the rest of the
Tell me
animation.
the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Huh.
there are a lot of people who have probably had worse first animations. And, like, I had no animation experience prior to this. So, like, I guess it's somewhat excusable. But just, like, comparing to, like, some of the more recent videos and, like, some of the more recent animation I've done, I'm just like, ugh. You know?
Yeah. Watching your early stuff's always painful.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was that one line from the Lego movie animated into a VeggieTales character. So I think we're good to move on to the next, which I have a lot less to say about.
Okay, cool. Crystal's Veggie animations is streaming. Let's watch that.
Oh yeah.
Let's see
Let's
what
watch it.
cacophony is being unleashed if we try and watch our own screen.
Hi everyone.
We watching the stream on the stream.
Yeah. Okay, we can like try and do that later. We got things to do. So next is VeggieTales Test Animation 2. Bob is annoyed. Oh, that form!
Oh,
Just like, what is up with Bob? What
he's
happened?
sitting clearly.
Yeah. He's sitting too much.
Yeah,
Just like-
sitting and standing. He's sitting, but he doesn't look comfortable about it.
Yeah. It's like, when was this released? August 1st. A year to this day. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so, this was just like a quick test animation just to like see how I would animate the character's facial expressions. Yeah, Bob's just right there, and then he does the eye roll, then he takes a breath, and he's still looking a bit peeved.
Remember how saying peeved as a swear word was like a whole thing in like My Little Pony?
What?
I just remember there was like a whole thing in like the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic where saying peeved was considered like an in-universe swear.
Huh.
Anyways.
Yeah, VeggieTales.
Yeah.
Whoa, I went full screen.
Sorry for the tangent, y'all.
Yeah, everyone asks, what da Bob doin'? But no one stops to wonder, how da Bob doin'? Those are very wise words. But, yeah, I do think this is like an improvement from the first animation I made, just because, like, it's a bit more coherent, but not, like, really close to where I'd end up within, like, a couple months. It was, like, I remember I started to get a really good grasp on how VeggieTales characters emote once I started doing Rack Shack and Benny remolded, just because I learned a lot of stuff about how the characters emote through their eyes and such. And looking back on this, I was like, wow, I was not following any of this stuff that I didn't know back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, anyway, there's the third video I made, the La Resistance animation. And so the story with this is that I had recently re-listened to the soundtrack for the South Park movie, and that movie has so many good musical numbers, and it was just like, I didn't imagine that anyone had animated any of them to VeggieTales characters, so I was thinking of songs that would be kind of funny to animate a VeggieTales character to, and I was thinking of the song La Resistance, which is like this Les Mis style parody song, and there's like a specific character singing this portion of the song, and I was thought, oh, that could probably be Archibald, like he's pretending to put on a stage show where he's like a hero, but how does the actual animation hold up?
You see the distant flames, they bellow in. Fighting all our names.
Okay, which I guess is like the first funny animation story, is that the sword that Archibald has right here, when I was animating him, the sword was not connected to his body at all. So what I basically did was that I tried to move the sword to his body movements, and I think that if you pay attention, it's kind of noticeable, just because it's kind of static during the first moments, and then it moves when he bobs his head in this direction, and
Yeah.
like it clips through him right here.
Oh.
Yeah. That's embarrassing. But
Short Archibald.
yeah, when he takes the hop, the sword just moves with him. And then yeah. Yeah, I think that like the way he's moving here is kind of rough, just because it's like the entire lower part of his body is static, but the way he's moving his head just like makes a very weird shape, and just like I feel like in proportion, other parts of his body should be a different size that they are in this video. But I can't really fix that. Yeah. I don't know, just like I have this weird feeling that like most of looking back at these is just going to be looking at just like, oh, why didn't I?
Wait, you can move the subtitles on YouTube? Is that a thing, or is that just a thing with like an extension you have?
I think it's just like a thing on normal YouTube, like the desktop site.
What the fuck? How did I not know this?
I don't know. Also, as pointed out in the chat, Archibald is doing an armless stab.
La resistance lives on.
You know, and about this sword model, I had found it off of Sketchfab, where someone made like a wooden sword, but during that time I did not know how textures work in Blender, and I couldn't find the texture even though it was pretty much like baked into the model, so I recolored it that ugly color, which does not look like type of wood, but he's just got it through the whole video.
It just looks like a very like a brand of just a brand of sandpaper.
I don't even think it looks.
Construction paper. Not
Yeah.
construction paper, I meant.
Yeah. But yeah, La Resistance is a very fun song. It was cool to have animated it with Archibald. I'm probably like smacking myself, like my year-old self, saying, why didn't you animate it like this? But it's still a really cool novelty. Just because, like, there aren't really that many VeggieTales animations that are crossed over with South Park.
What character sang that song? Because like I haven't seen the South Park movie.
It's like a character who's like exclusively in the movie, if I'm remembering correctly. He's basically like a rival to kids, and he's supposed to be cheering everyone on in that scene while it transitions into like a medley of some of the other songs that were previously featured in the movie. But yeah, now for the Hugh Neutron one.
Yeah, I don't mind. Once when I was 7 years old, I sat on a banana.
I don't know, but
That changed my life.
Yeah. This was like another quote that I'm surprised that no one animated into a VeggieTales animation. Just because, I don't know, like, this is like one of the most popular lines from Jimmy Neutron I've seen spread around everywhere just because of how funny it is out of context. And it's just like, I don't even know if there are any other VeggieTales characters, if anyone's animated VeggieTales characters saying any lines from Jimmy Neutron. But
Jimmy Neutron was such a banger.
yeah, I watched the entire show last year, and it was very, very good. I wrote like a 20-page review script when I wanted to do movie and TV show reviews, and that never materialized, so I've just had a Jimmy Neutron review in my Google Docs page for like the last year. And I mean, like, if I really wanted to, I could probably try and turn it into a video and like refamiliarize myself with Jimmy Neutron. But alas, I am too busy.
Ugh.
Yeah. And if I'm not wrong, I think that this was I think this was around the time that Hugh Neutron got added as a character in the Nickelodeon fighting game. I may or
I can
may,
probably look that up for you.
you know. Just like I think it was around that late July, early August period that he was added as a DLC fighter. But,
Yeah, August 5th, 2022.
yeah, and this was published on August 6th. So I was a day late, but the effort
Yeah, you
is what
started-
matters.
I'm pretty sure you started it before he was released.
You know? Yeah, it took me like 2 days, I guess, to make this, just because work and such. Yeah, I thought that animating Dad Asparagus to Hugh Neutron was a funny choice, and I don't know, it didn't really set right with me just to have him say that line on his own, so I threw in like the one reaction shot of Junior and Mom Asparagus. So it was like the way the original clip played out is that there was like a reaction shot from Jimmy and his mom after Hugh had said that line, and it was like, oh, I should probably put something like this into the video just so it'll emulate that same experience, just because they thought the line was like really weird as well. And this was also when I started like learning a lot more about how 3D animation works, because I think around this time is when I started getting into Kevin Temer, who is like a 3D animator, and he has like a lot of behind the scenes type-ish videos on his channel where he posts like camera cheats and stuff, and I was like, oh, that is really cool, and I tried to implement that there. I don't have the file for it, but just like the way Dad Asparagus was positioned here, after it showed the shot of Junior and his mom, I had like pushed him further away just so it could I pushed him further away just so it could like focus in on those two characters, and like they were hidden before they were supposed to come up, so things would look entirely good. I'm probably not explaining this the best, but no, I was like really interested in learning how 3D animation works, so I wanted to try and apply some of what I was figuring out into the animation. And like, cheating to the camera is like very important when it comes to basically any type of rigged animation. Yeah, I think that's good enough. I think we can move on to the next one. Unless you have any more comments.
Go.
Oh.
Yeah, I do remember you talking about like trying to figure out the camera for the Hugh Neutron one.
Yeah.
We're going to the Renaissance Men one. Yeah.
Yeah, Smiling Friends. So, Smiling Friends is an adult. Smiling Friends is an Adult Swim cartoon that premiered last year, and it was like one of my favorite shows of last year. And I was doing VeggieTales animations, and it just clicked. Oh, I should make a VeggieTales Smiling Friends animation. Like, no, I don't know if anyone had did it before, because like the pilot was out for like 2 years at that point, but I don't think anyone animated anything of it. And I just went ahead and tried to animate this one conversation using Bob and Larry.
No calls today? That's unusual.
Yeah, I was just reading about how the Renaissance men are coming in town.
Who are they?
Yeah. Oh, that twist. That one twist from Larry. Like how his body moves there and he turns.
Yeah, the correction for it. So quick.
Yeah. Just like I guess with how I was animating in like the material preview settings, which doesn't normally show the textures for the characters unless you have them, unless you choose specific ones to view. And I guess I didn't choose Larry's body texture to show up. And I was animating him in a weird position, and when I noticed it, I immediately corrected it, but I didn't go back and fix how his body was before. Also, another funny thing is that I tried my best to connect the phone that Bob was holding to his body, but I don't think I connected it the way anyone else would, just because, like, it's probably noticeable later in the animation, but how the phone turns with his body is kind of off.
Who's the Renaissance man?
Oh, it just says here that the Renaissance men are coming in town. By the looks of it, it's like super soon. It's like really soon.
Who are the Renaissance men? I don't know who they are. Like the Renaissance fair?
Dude, I'm just telling. Look, I'm just telling you what I'm reading here, man. That's all I know. You know as much as I know. I'm just reading off this thing. It says the Renaissance men are coming in town really soon.
Okay.
Like ASAP.
I remember you talking about that one moment where you're saying the Renaissance men are coming to town really soon. I remember you were saying, like you used that specific camera movement to side of the phone in front of his face so you didn't have to lip sync that thing. Because I said you were talking about this was really tough to do because like Zach Hadel talks really fast, so lip sync was really tough.
Oh yes, the characters in Smiling Friends talk. I don't know how fast you'd compare it to like a bunch of other cartoons, but it was very fast and there was like a lot to lip sync, and like it wasn't really a camera movement. I just like as he was pulling the phone up to his
like,
body,
prop manipulation,
I covered his mouth with the phone so I didn't have to animate any more lip sync like a Chad.
Yeah.
Really soon.
Oh, Dark Lord's in chat. Hey.
Oh, hello, Dark Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was also like the first of the animations I made where I had made some of the models myself. They are not there are only two models. There are Bob's phone and Larry's pencil. It's just like everything else was from other people. Like the Children's Museum was from 321 Blender, and like the character rigs were from Seaman Flip. Yeah. And like even still I'm like still kind of mediocre at like modeling things actually, just because like I don't know, it's just like I really do want to get better. It's just like I have to bring out my artistic side, which I've barely been trying to keep in touch. But I do have a feeling that like
modeling's a bitch.
Yeah, modeling is hard, but I will get there.
Yeah, I was taking a class like earlier this year, like 3D. It was like a 3D computer like advanced computer graphics, and like towards the end of the semester, we learned some Blender stuff, and it was like when we got to like the first thing we like the last thing we did before the semester was over was we learned how to model by making a donut.
Oh yeah, the Blender donut.
Yeah, the highly recommended first thing you ever model in Blender. Thankfully, that was like an extra credit project, and you only had to do a certain amount, and I just wound up doing as far as I was comfortable with, and then like I got to like geometry nodes for the sprinkles, which like don't know how that was gonna work, and I just gave up, and since it was just like extra credit for completion percentage, I put that in and just played Tears of the Kingdom. with all my remaining time.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have not modeled the Blender donut, but I'm probably going to have to do that at some point because I do want to get better at modeling.
ACP.
I just don't know what that means. I don't know what that is.
And also, this was the first animation that I made where I had an end card. I had like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Newgrounds. Yeah. Yeah. I would want to make another Smiling Friends VeggieTales animation. I have one in mind, but I haven't been able to get to it for reasons I'll explain later. But yeah, I would want to make another one, though I'd have to like actually try and dress them up just so it's not like Bob and Larry. Just because I think it looks a lot neater if the characters are dressed up, if it's trying to be a specific parody of something. And I'd probably want to modify the children's museum set just to resemble a bit more like a mix between it and the actual Smiling Friends break room. And like I have some other casting in mind for like other characters in the show. And like
Yeah, who would be Mr. Boss?
Mr. Boss. I was thinking maybe Mr. Nezer.
Yeah, I don't know. The reason I thought that question would be tough is just because it's just really hard to capture the energy of Mr. Boss
Yeah. It's
with
just
like any other character design.
Yeah. And that's like another thing. It's just like some VeggieTales characters fit very perfectly as some like characters from other shows or movies, but a lot of them don't really. And it's just like with me modeling stuff, I'd also want to make a lot more like original VeggieTales characters. Because like I do have some ideas of what I'd want to turn into animations, and a lot of the characters probably from the stuff I want to animate don't really fit in with like the standard cast of VeggieTales characters, so I'd want to maybe try and make them original characters. Yeah. Also, one comment I saw in this video is asking why Bob was Charlie and Larry was Pim. It just seemed right in my head at that time. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like some of those comments were from people who haven't seen Smiling Friends. I do think, because like, this really isn't that indicative. Like, the scene isn't really that indicative of the characters' personalities in Smiling Friends that much. Because, like, I think Bob fits a lot more as Charlie just because Charlie is, like, very much go with the flow. And Pim is, like, a lot more excited about going on missions for Smiling Friends. So I thought that casting was pretty good at the time. Like, I'm probably still going to use it.
Yeah. Anyone in the chat, if you haven't seen Smiling Friends, I recommend. It's just a couple 11-minute episodes. I think there are 11 now with the special where they went to Brazil.
You know.
So it's just like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is the ProZD package delivery one. So, before I made this, I had always wanted to make a VeggieTales animation out of a ProZD video, but with what I considered making worthy of one was really hard because a lot of ProZD's videos are mainly themed around like video games or anime, but I really wanted to find something that was like general and that like a lot of people could like find some relation to. But then I remembered the video he made about FedEx deliveries, and I thought, oh, that would be fun to turn into a video. So I had Bob in the role as Sungwon. Oh, right. Ravenclaw Nimbus did make a VeggieTales Pro ZD animation. I had forgotten that, but I do remember seeing that around a year ago. But, yeah. For this animation, it was kind of a mess with like production just because I had animated everything in 3 separate files, but the timing was it did not line up how I originally envisioned it. So I guess we can like watch the video and I'll like point out how that's the case.
Supposed to get a package.
Oh, we attended a delivery at 10:30, but you weren't home.
Yes, I was.
Well, we left a slip.
No, you didn't.
It says we did.
I have literally been standing outside my front door waiting for this package.
We might have sent our delivery ghost Beauregard to leave an invisible slip.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've noticed it, but for like the timing of cutting back and forth between Bob and the Scallion, some of it doesn't really hit that well. Like, it doesn't really flow together, and that is because I was not accounting for how long each shot was going to be displayed on screen, because it's like, I think like Bob wasn't entirely finished with his lip sync in this scene, and was animating the Scallion blinking and then moving, but he's like halfway done with the blink right here. And I think I had slowed down and I slowed down and sped some parts up in the editing section. And also, throughout the last few years, I have been using Vegas editing software. I think for this video, I was using Vegas 17 Platinum. And this was before I had rendered each animation out as a set of PNGs and just editing them all together. I had been exporting them as MP4 files, and the animation for this video was at 24 frames a second, but the editing software was reading it as 25 frames a second for whatever reason. So if you go frame by frame, some frames just repeat. I don't know how soon. Oh, right here, like I'm clicking the forward and back frames buttons. They're like next frame and last frame. I don't know why I said that, but it's just repeating, and it results in it being kind of choppy. So that was a whole mess, but I really like how I repurposed a lot of the scenes for this animation, because I actually have some of the files from this point on in making the videos. Need to pull it up.
Yeah, let's see them camera deconstructions.
Yeah, here's Bob in his apartment. Just like, the audio's not here, but yeah, so a lot of people would recognize this scene as like Bob's house from VeggieTales on TV when it aired on Cubo. But if we scroll back here, there's not a lot of it. So basically just like cut down on rendering time. I had edited the house model that 321 Blender had made, and I tried to make it look like an apartment, like outside of an apartment. And yeah, I did that, and it cut down on rendering time a lot, especially when it comes to the office scene with the Scallion. I can just close out of this. we got the scene with the scallion right here. His textures for his suit aren't showing, but yeah. I took the...
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Like, I'm just seeing the YouTube and waiting until it catches
Okay.
up on the stream.
Okay, I'm going to have to share the whole screen with you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Okay. So, this was another scenery created by 321 Blender. It is the Daily Bumble office from the Larry Boy Cartoon Adventures. And I had basically fiddled with it to try and delete as much stuff that wasn't in the scene. Yes. How good do you think that the scallion looks in pink?
Quite dapper.
Yeah, he's in his Barbie attire. Oh, and also that photo.
Allow us to 3 tickets to Barbie, please.
Yeah. The photos of his favorite color, pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blender textures are fun.
Yeah.
And,
Is there like an actual texture for the picture in the frame?
yes, there is. If I get back to the video, it is,
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it's visible in the final one.
it's right here. It is of Miss Kitty, Madame Blueberry's role from The Ballad of Little Joe. There was like a photo of her. I just showed my background so you all know what I keep as my wallpaper. I'm the biggest Gibby fan there is. But yeah, when comparing it to the actual scene, back when I was talking about timing, I don't know if the audio is here. Yeah.
On my end, it's not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the audio's
if
not playing.
on stream.
Just like... this was about to be the first thing you see of the scallion during like the second time we cut to him. No, that's just like... This is what you were supposed to see. But... like, again, I was not accounting for timing, so it just, when you cut to him, he's just mid-blink. And, like, for most of the animation, it's fine, but it's just, like, those moments.
Oh, 321 Blender is in the chat.
Yeah, hey! Try and unmute this.
He goes to Beauregard to leave an invisible slip. You fucking with me? Sometimes Beauregard makes a boo-boo. Where is my...
Yeah, this moment right here is the one that I sped up, where, because, like, it didn't play that well when it wasn't sped up, so I didn't want to work on it again, so I just sped it up to save time and release it. I don't know if it's that noticeable to everyone, but it's something that always bothered me. Yeah.
You phoned
And,
this?
a funny thing about the scene with Jimmy delivering the package is that it was unnecessarily large in file size, because the file I was animating with Bob in front of the door, that's 4 megabytes. The scene with the scallion in his office, that was 20 megabytes. The scene with Jerry outside, that is 354 megabytes. Yeah, because I was not accounting for compressing textures, I guess. I got the textures that are right here off of well, like the ones for like the sidewalk and the street, they were from a texture website that was from Epic Games, I think. It's like Epic Games affiliated. And the houses were modeled by Ghostbuster Jeffrey. And I also got these trees in the back, which, another fun camera cheat. They're just really small and all behind the houses instead of far off into the distance. You didn't know that, but now you know.
Lucky you.
Yeah. So, yeah. And we also got the sky right here. It's acting a little funky. It's like a free public domain image I found off Google, and I used it as the sky. I don't know, just like, I do a lot. I'm gonna say this about a lot of the animations, but I do everything a lot differently now than I would have back then, but that is the process of growing. You learn things and you apply them to your everyday life, and that's good. I think we're ready to move on to the next one. Pen?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So, we got this animation, which was animating Dad Carrot in an audio clip from The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, once again using the Moose Lake Children's Museum set made by 321 Blender. And I had wanted to do like something for Halloween because I was going to be really busy, and I thought that this was just a fun way to do something for Halloween. Got it right here.
They're dogs, and they're playing poker.
Yeah, so for this animation I was trying to mimic exactly how Homer acted in the original clip. Like, I have it linked right here, and we could probably try and cut down on it for copyright reasons. But look at the way this man moves. It is insane. How did they...
That's one hell of a snare frame.
Yeah. Look at it. And, yeah, so I tried to basically translate that into how a VeggieTales character acts. I chose Dad Carrot because there have been a lot of VeggieTales Simpsons animations that fan cast him as Homer. I don't know, I feel like that's something that, like, you know, it's just like in that habit I got into of trying to make original characters, because Dad Carrot is not really a prominent character in VeggieTales, and I feel like if you were going to try and cast someone as Homer, it would probably be someone a bit more prominent. And it was like kind of what I mentioned earlier. It's just like, oh, if I were to make a Simpsons animation now, I might try my best to actually model custom characters for The Simpsons. And I know that, like, at least someone has made custom VeggieTales models as, like, Simpsons characters. I can't really name who, because I can't remember.
It's interesting to try and think of like what vegetable character would be.
Yeah. And
VeggieTales AU.
yeah. And like
They're dogs,
there's like
and they're playing poker.
well, yeah. I mean, I think that what I knew at the time in terms of animation, I translated Homer's movements to the character as well as I could have done with the knowledge I had. Just like, like I remember being very proud of it when I had first uploaded it. But also, like, I guess another fun fact about this is that to save on rendering time for this animation, what I had done, if I were to pull it up, sorry Scallion, we gotta put you away. If I get, yeah, so I've got the animation file right here of Dad Asparagus. It's pink again. Yes, Dad Carrot. I was thinking of the more prominent one. Now he's looking at pink, because again, he is excited for Barbie.
Come on, Bobby, let's go party. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I had done to cut down on rendering time is that I had this file right here that's on screen, but if I were to stall for just like 5 more seconds, I also have this file right here where it has like all the same animation that Dad Asparagus did right here, except
Dad Carrot.
Dad Carrot, yes, but the background is gone, so I could just animate him. This was like the first animation I did where I exported every frame as a PNG file. And basically what I did is that when I rendered it, all of the images were transparent, and I basically took the background that the animation had, and I stuck that as like its own layer, and the animation of Dad Carrot as another layer on top of it. So it cut down on rendering time, because the background wasn't going to move at all. It was a static image. Yeah, it's funny to think about Dad Carrot just going insane in the void. And there's also got the image of the dogs playing poker right here. That was like another situation where I'm glad that it was public domain, because I don't have the artistic ability to draw something like that, and I sure as hell was not going to use AI art for it, so I just used the original painting.
AI art, more like AI fart.
Oh!
Zing.
Yeah, so I think we're ready to move on to the next one. And the 3091. And I am not going to play the audio, just because this is the one animation I've made that actually had a copyright claim on it for the audio, and I don't want a copyright claim on this stream, so we're just going to have to watch it muted. This was like test animation I wanted to do just to see how I would handle basically like a musical sequence, because I think this was like early when I wanted to start planning the Christmas animation, which is the next one. So, and I had been listening to the soundtrack of the Tick Tick Boom movie, and I always really latched onto this song, and I was like, what if I had Larry playing this song? And I tried to test different camera angles, and oh, that wasn't supposed to show. So yeah, I wanted to test out different camera angles for it, and just wanted to see this kind of motion Larry could perform performing the musical number. We got the overhead shot and like this shot right here, and then I wanted to try and test the moving camera in this shot right here. And at the time I thought it turned out really, really well. It's just like, there's like some areas where I'm still learning on how to emote the veggies through their face. But, I mean, for the most part, I think I did really good. Yeah.
Glad you think that, because it's fact.
Yeah. And for the piano, I'm going to pull up the animation file for this. Larry's still got... Larry is dripped out pink.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
And the piano is pink. And for the animation on the piano, I don't think that the song is in this file. It is not. So basically what I did is that I am not the most musically literate person, but what I was able to do is that I was able to find a Synthesia piano tutorial on YouTube, and I had I had tried to sync up the piano movements to how the keys were played in that video. And like I think it's not even half of the video where the piano keys are like visibly playing. So we got them in one scene and two scenes and like four different, so yeah, a total of 4 different scenes where the piano is playing, and I didn't animate the piano keys playing for the rest of them because that's how I work. I didn't have to do it, so I didn't do it. Yeah, 321 Blender also brought up a good point, is that the animation also got noticed by someone who had worked at Big Idea back in the day. I am going to pull up the name of the person right now because I sadly can't remember it off the top of my head. Pin, if you would like to talk about something either related to this animation or not.
I remember this animation taking you a while.
Yeah.
I remember when like you and me were trying to watch Tick Tick Boom together on Netflix, but then we were doing it around Christmas, like the year Tick Tick Boom came out, but I'd bought something online, but my card declined, and I went to go and deal with that, and I forgot to go back downstairs and watch the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably get back to, like, I still haven't seen the finished movie because I was like so exhausted. I couldn't enjoy something properly because like every time I'm like, I don't know, when my eyelids are starting to get heavy and stuff, I find it impossible to enjoy anything. That's why sleep's important, kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up on this screen here, if I can do that. Yeah, the official Twitter account for Slimbo Jones had noticed the tweet after I had put it out, which was really cool. I know that like this was like one of the only times someone from Big Idea actually noticed when I had put an animation out, because I normally don't tag people just because I don't know, I kind of feel bad about it. Oh hey, Dario's in chat. Yeah, chicken sandwich.
Yeah, yum, chicken sandwich. Good.
Yeah.
Great input.
Yeah. And if I can try and find it. Another thing about this animation is that I tried to do an eye smear where Larry was looking from one direction to another really quickly. And a lot of people have set it up using shape keys. And I did not do that because the way, if I just select Larry's eye right here, I am in pose mode. I'll go into object mode. If I select his eye, you see like the pupil smearing right here. But that smear is a sphere on its own that is only visible for one frame and no other frame. I mean, like, I eventually learned how to do it with shape keys like 2 months after, so yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think that many people even noticed. And I used this method for one other animation coming up. And also another thing about Larry's hair is that it was modeled by 321 Blender to be similar to how Larry's hair is in silly songs like Schoolhouse Polka and Where Have All the Staplers Gone? And I just tried to messy it up as much as I could to be similar to how Jonathan Larson's hair was in the movie.
Got the character had a name for a second. In my head it's just Andrew Garfield.
Yes. Yeah. Andrew Garfield, who played Jonathan Larson, the man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's enough of that. Try and full screen. So let's move on to the Christmas silly song animation.
Yeah, so you went insane over this for months on end.
Yes. So, I had known about this silly song for a couple years. It was a part of the animation originally, for the original version, was done for a church play for, like, toddlers or, like, young kids in, like, churches that they would put on for their parents and other people in churches. And it was done using 2D Flash animation, and I've got the original compared with the animation I made right here. The original's on the left, and if you see how it moves, it is something. All right. And like I'm unfortunately not really as experienced with like 2D animation programs. Like, I've never tried out Adobe Animate or Toon Boom, so I'm not entirely sure how exactly everything was done. Like, I assume it was done with a lot more crunch time compared to the normal VeggieTales episode, just because it was a product that probably had to be out on the shelves at a certain time. I mean, that's true with just about every VeggieTales episode, but like this one especially, they probably had to crunch more. And it's just like, it was another situation where I was like, I'm surprised that no one has animated this silly song in the style of an actual VeggieTales episode. So I decided one November evening to try and make a video out of it, but animated like an actual episode of VeggieTales by the time Christmas came around. And
that, ladies and gentlemen, that, everybody, was the first step in a downward spiral.
Yeah. So to go back to like some of the positive aspects about the animation is what this is the first animation where I tried to actually try and model stuff on my own. It was like the curtains were probably one of the first things I created for the animation, And the way the curtains move is something, because they were basically just a standard object that I had scaled down when trying to pull them away and show the actual set. And it's like very static. It's like very static. And like I added like a bit of rotation. You know, like if I were probably going to do it today, I'd probably put a lattice around the curtain and like try and set up a shape key to move it. I'm going to assume you know what that means.
No.
Okay. So, yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I had also made the background behind Larry in GIMP. I was not that well accustomed with UV mapping and like UV unwrapping at the time. So if you'll notice like this window right here, or like this section right here, it's like a little bent. But yeah, I'd basically done the wood texture in GIMP, and I had also painted like the, I don't know what you call it, like the wreathy parts right here in GIMP. But I had also like 3D modeled the bows from scratch, and I also 3D modeled these presents from scratch. And this Christmas star up here, I think I did from scratch. But like this Christmas tree here was also a 3D model found on Sketchfab, but I think I did the like ornaments custom.
Yeah. We love Sketchfab. Everybody loves Sketchfab.
Yeah, Sketchfab is epic.
Yeah.
And around this time I was also I was studying how VeggieTales characters moved specifically in the era when the show is animated by Hoo Studios. And I think I did like a pretty good job with what I had known at the time. Just like there's like some imperfections, but yeah. Also, this shot was my very first time incorporating depth of field into something, because when comparing it to the original, it's like this shot pops up earlier in my animation than it did in the original, but Larry's peeking behind the Christmas tree and he's in focus, but since the presents aren't in focus, they're more blurry, so I wanted to incorporate depth of field into it. And yeah. But about the actual time I took animating this episode, not this episode, this YouTube video, I had set a deadline for myself, which I hadn't done with any of the other animations, because I wanted to try and get it out before Christmas, and oh my god. Yeah, I wanted to get it out before Christmas, and I had gotten words from family members on when we'd be leaving to head out of town, so I had to get it done before that. And I had it all ready to go on December 23rd, which is when I was supposed to be leaving. And then we were hit with like a major winter storm warning. Like, it was not safe at all to travel because the streets were all covered in ice.
Yeah, it was quite insane.
Yeah, winter weather in Ohio is fun.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was, we, like, I remember the
Yeah.
that was going on for hours was not possible. I saw several shopping carts abandoned on the side of the road.
Yeah. Look at Larry right here. Look at him. He's got a very big...
thick.
Yes, Larry is thick. It's just like, I didn't really intend to make him look like that. I didn't intend to make him look like that, but that's just kind of how he ended up, because I was still trying to figure out the form of the VeggieTales character around this time. And another fun thing is that with this tinsel right here, I had used a shape key. Oh, is my live stream not going? Okay, I got like an error message from the stream, but is it still good? Like the YouTube live stream?
It offered for
Yeah.
a sec on my end.
Yeah, I'm seeing like in the live studio buffering.
Yeah, yeah, there was a bit of buffering on the other end of the stream.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I'm just kind of the recommended.
Yeah, let's watch I'm Just Ken. No, I don't want to get a copyright claim. But with the tinsel,
Yeah.
yeah, with the tinsel, I had basically set it up to be a shape key, where it was a separate object from Larry. The tinsel would come out of the box, and as he would put it on the tree, it formed into the resting position. And this is like another one of the things where when Larry picks up this box to turn to the camera, it is like way too snappy. Just like there's like barely any time to react, I guess. Just like I don't know. Just like I have said it before, I'll say it again. I would fix it if I knew what I was doing back then. I didn't. No. And also another thing is with the ending. If we go to the ending in the original segment, as Larry is wrapping up the song, a bunch of tinsel falls down, but in what I did, it just shows that one screen. This is like another thing of where I was crunching for time. I had basically tried to animate the scene. Let me just close in the other Blender files. And I will pull up the Christmas one, because I still got that. Do I? Okay, I got it. So, we got it right here. Let me just try and turn on the simplify settings so it'll run better. Where is it? And I think it's still going to run fine. So what I did is that I was originally going to have something similar to the end of the animation where a bunch of tinsel fell, but I could not figure how to get that to look good. So I just cut it off at the point that it did. And like I even tried to animate a little something of the tinsel falling down and Larry reacting to it. It is very rough compared to everything else in the animation. But yeah. And, I guess we can view some more cheating, I guess. Let me try and turn the audio down or like get rid of it. Just look at how everything's set up. Got the very bad curtain animation where it does that, and Gonna look at some of like the
Yo, Bob's
camera
in hell.
positions. Yes, Bob is just waiting for his time to come up. And we see,
Welcome to the underground.
and we got Larry popping out of the Christmas tree right here. And got the presents. We have Larry popping out behind the cardboard thingy. And then Larry looking at the out of the present. This was like very difficult to pull off, but I think I did it really well with like trying to cheat the perspective and all that. And then we got Bob coming in. Yeah, he escaped from hell and showed up to help Larry, went off and returned to hell. And I also decided to add a thing with the P, putting the top of the present back on, just because like I wanted to have the space a little less cluttered. So I decided to add like this little gag of the P putting the top of the present back on and Larry noticing him, the P noticing, and then the P just gets out of sight and he's in hell with Bob. Yeah. Bye, Ravenclaw. I'm planning on having like the rest of the stream up, so should be there later tonight. Yeah. So yeah, this was the first animation I did where I had a deadline for myself, and like it definitely shows in some areas, but I'm still pretty happy with it. It's just that I'd probably fix a lot of things in it if I could. So I guess we can move on to the next video, which is this one animation right here. It is animating this little clip of the Fairly Odd Parents, which is probably like, again, it's like another situation where I'd expected people to animate it beforehand, but no one did. So I decided to animate it because I thought it was a very funny clip. And it's only like 4 seconds long.
How do we know when it's over?
But this is also another instance with me trying to model something where I believe that this was the first time I had actually tried to make a custom outfit for Larry. I tried to model it off of the way Cosmo's outfit looked in the original Fairly Odd Parents clip. And like just comparing how he looks here and how I made Larry look. And also I had reused the curtains from the Christmas animation as the background, because like I tried to make it similar to like how people picture Seinfeld, where it's like Jerry Seinfeld looking like doing stand-up in front of an audience. I have never watched Seinfeld, so I don't. No. It was only about 5 seconds long. I just wanted to make it as something very quick. And like, I do have the animation file from it, but it's not really that interesting to look at. If I pull it up. Okay, I guess not, because it just crashed. So I guess we can move on to the next one, which is reanimating Larry the Psychiatrist, which was a segment from VeggieTales Values on the Job. Around the time I had wanted to make this, I had tried rewatching the scene, and then I realized that the animation in it was probably some of the worst of the VeggieTown values on the job scenes. Like, that's not the right link. I could try and pull up the original.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
shown
and
it.
that's actually the original version is actually where the stream starting graphic was. That's where that came from. For those of you who were here at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, if I were to pull it up real quick, I had made like custom graphics, and I just used this one image of Larry just because I thought it was really funny. But going back to VeggieTown values on the job, gonna pull it up here real quick. It is loading, probably because I'm using the internet a lot.
Yeah. And you got a power line adapter.
Yep. Is it still going? It's like I've been getting constant error messages.
Yeah, because like I remember you pointed out that the the notepad and the pencil are just fixed for like the entire duration.
Yes. It's like if you rewatch this animation closely, if you rewatch it closely, you'll notice that the pencil and the notepad are always in the same location. They never move with Larry, and like no, it's just like this entire animation gives off some kind of janky feel to it that's not really present in a lot of animation from this era.
Moving.
Yeah, you got this right here.
Bob's moving, Larry isn't really moving.
Yeah, Larry's in this position.
Don't really track Bob.
Yeah. So I wanted to try and kind of remake that one scene in the style of. You got him standing on the couch, which is just way better for posing. You know, I wanted to try and make something that's like in between, like the King George and the Ducky style of animation, like Lyle the Kindly Viking.
Welcome back to VeggieTown, kids. I'm Bob the Tomato.
And I really wanted to try and push the facial expressions because I think it's like around this time. Yeah, it was March 2023. Like, I had just joined the Rack Shack and Benny remolded project 2 months prior, and I was like learning a lot about how VeggieTales characters are animated and like how to make them emote and such, and I wanted to apply that into the animation itself. Just like some things I noticed were like a VeggieTales, like depending on which, I don't know how to phrase this, it is very late. One eye of a VeggieTales characters is always going to be higher than the other eye. It's like if you notice how Larry's eyes are right here and how Bob's eyes are, and if you compare it to the older animations I made, those eyes were always on an even level with each other. But having them not the same gives them a little bit more character. I hope I explained that correctly.
Principles.
Yeah. And I designed Larry's outfit here after the character of Jerry Atrix, the therapist from Scott the Woz. Like, somewhat. Like, his outfit is made up of like reused parts from like other models that people have made, Like, I think the sweater was from his outfit in 'Twas the Night Before Easter, but I recolored it to look more like geriatrics. And like, there's like still some jankiness to the animation. Like, I've always kept in mind right here when Bob nods his head, it just doesn't really look that good. And it's like in this section right here when Bob is looking at Larry. I don't know, it looks off to me. Like, it's probably not that bad to a lot of other people, but it's just something that always stuck out to me. And another thing with the sound design in this section right here is when Bob jumps onto the couch, I had actually like that noise Bob made when he was shifting into the couch, I took my phone and I found a chair in my room and I basically made that sound myself. Just because I couldn't really find sound online that was similar to what I wanted, so I just did it myself.
Forcing sound effects is always
Are you
fun.
trying to be?
Sorry, I might... No, it's getting kind of late. I might try and call off the stream in like 20 minutes or so. So we might sadly have to speed run the last of all of this. So it's just getting kind of late. And I'm very tired. Sorry.
Be a psychiatrist with me.
So, some other fun notes is that I had actually animated this all in widescreen throughout this entire video. So what I did is that I had basically set up the camera in Blender to fit a 4:3 aspect ratio. Then I had changed the camera angle to 16:9, but then I had to like reposition everything to try and fit the aspect ratio because not everything lined up correctly. But like, I wanted to try and render it out in widescreen first and then convert it to 4:3 because I originally designed it for 4:3, but I still wanted like the widescreen option. I don't know if I have much else to say about it, but like, it did take me a while, but I am pretty happy with the final result. So I think we can move on to the next one, which is Everything Every Bob All at Once. So this was like a funny idea I had back in March, because Oscar season was coming up, and one of the big... Oh yeah, that was like something I forgot about the Larry the Psychiatrist animation. I had shared a preview of it in a Discord server, and it was like unfinished. It was in the material preview mode, but someone, I'm not going to be naming names, but someone saw that animation and they decided to reanimate it on their own. It was just like a 5-second preview. It's just like, I'm not offended that they reanimated it, because like, it's not even my audio to begin with. I don't own VeggieTales. I just found it kind of strange. But yeah, that was very funny. Oh, but yeah, every Bob All at Once. So, like I said, it was March when Oscar season was coming out, and everyone was anticipating Everything Everywhere All at Once to win a bunch of awards, and it did. And I had...
Yeah, banger film.
yeah, Everything Everywhere is a very great movie. And I had an idea one night at work. It was just like somehow the idea of VeggieTales and Everything Everywhere All at Once crossed in my mind, where I was like, oh, what if I animate Bob going through the montage sequence in the movie where Michelle Yeoh's character Evelyn is experiencing her life in multiple different universes all at once, and it's like one frame a second where each frame shows a different universe. And I couldn't really pull that off with like the 30 costumes I decided to find. So I tried to slow it down a bit, and we got a whole bunch of Bob outfits right here. Most of them were made by other people, but I made 2 outfits specifically. I had made this outfit right here, which is based off of the Blunders and Boo Booville outfit that Bob had worn. He was wearing a hat in some portions of the episode, but I didn't want to model that. And I also modeled a Pastor Irwin, the beloved character from 'Twas the Night Before Easter, the most beloved VeggieTales episode, because everyone loves it.
I feel like there's an inside joke I'm missing out on.
But yeah, and basically how I played this off is that I connected every costume to Bob all at once, but I changed how basically which costumes were present in the video. It's just like in Blender they would toggle on and off for the rest of the video. And so I had animated all of that, tried to sync up everything, and like everything was rendered out as PNGs. Bob was just Bob in an empty void. I don't have the files to show it off, but that's basically how he looked. And then I went into Vegas Pro, and I had tried setting the different backgrounds behind Bob, but I also had the idea to color correct in certain sections, because if you notice, if you frame by frame it, Bob and the different parts of his bodies are slightly different colors between each background. And I basically tried to make each one distinct to try and fit in with like the lighting of the scene. And yeah, I wanted to get it out by the night the Oscars happened. This video released on March 6th, which was like weeks later than the Oscars premiered. But I'm still really happy with how the animation turned out.
You mean April 6th?
Yes, April 6th. We're on the home stretch here. And, thank you to all of the people listed in the description. They made very good outfits for Bob. He looks very great in all of them. Alright, so we'll go on to the Ryan George animation. Yeah. I had gotten into Ryan George's videos like a couple weeks before I had released this, and he had made a video where just in the middle of it he put in like this Jurassic Park parody where I think I linked the original video right here. It's like he stops the sketch to do like a quick Jurassic Park parody, and it was very humorous. And I was working on another animation which has been giving me some trouble but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get
Maybe
into
we could
that.
do a sneak preview of that one.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah, so I had this in mind because I really liked it, and I was like, oh, maybe I could animate this one. So Junior's outfit here is modeled by Ian Cola 1998. It is based off of his appearance in the Mystery of Veggie Island PC game. And Archibald's outfit right here, I had modeled myself. I tried to make it similar to the look of Alan Grant, who is a character in the Jurassic Park movie. And yeah, it's just like kind of rough. Just like I wanted to give the vibe that this was as rushed and sloppily put together as in the Ryan George video. Because it's very corny how it's played out.
This park, it's super fucking Jurassic.
And I tried to add a bit of shoulder movement for Archibald, just because there's not really any normal type of shoulder controls for like Seaman Flips models, for example. Just like in the segment where Archibald's laughing, how Archibald's just like, his shoulders are going up and down, because he's a big man.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ha ha ha. Fuck. Yeah. And also, it got retweeted by Ryan George. Fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that Ryan George stopped using Twitter, but because I think that this was like one of the last things that he...
Yeah, don't you mean ass?
Yeah. Yes, this is still the last thing he posted on his account was like retweeting the animation I had posted on the website, which is fun. Got like 146 likes, which is really cool. So, that's like going over all 13 animations on the channel. And I know that there's one animation in particular that I've been teasing for like the last couple months, but progress on that has been like very tricky just because I've been really busy. But I thought I would make it up for that by showing a sneak preview of it.
Yeah. And while you pull that up, how about I expose my role in this?
Sure.
Yeah, because Crystal made the it was like when he pitched the project, we were like talking to each other, and he actually got me to make a background that'll be visible in the final animation.
Yes, because unfortunately I had moved this project file to a different folder, so the texture's just not showing. But
you might be able to move it in. You might be able to like move it in.
Yeah, let me try that real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, pin here. I had like I made like a rough drawing of what I wanted the background to look like, and Pin was very grateful and colored it. So thank you.
Yes.
And I got it right here.
Yeah, what I did was I took that sketch and made line art out of it. You can see with all the little outlines, and I did that with the pen tool in Clip Studio Paint, if you're wondering the program that I did it all in. Then I put it over a cardboard texture and added, and then I did all the coloring in a brush, like in the, I'm pretty sure it was just the paintbrush tool. No, it was the, it was the airbrush tool that I used, which I normally use for my shading. So I used the airbrush tool and to add a little bit of realism that to make it really look like it was painted. I didn't even use like normally when I do coloring in my own drawings, I do paint bucket tool and then I do marching ants over a colored area when I do the shading. But instead I just went back and forth without even doing marching ants to keep it in a selected area so it can, you know, do a little coloring outside of the lines. And then I reduced the opacity so it all went over the cardboard texture. And I'm really proud of how this turned out. And it looks really nice, but as the background for this little animation.
Yeah. And for the actual animation itself, I've just been... Most of what is done is just, like, really rough layouts, and, like, even then, not all of them are very done.
Got a water buffalo, yours is fat, but mine is slow. Where they come from, I don't know, but everybody's got a water buffalo.
Hey! Did you just call my water buffalo fat? That's rude, man. So you're sorry.
Yeah. So, again, I am very sorry that this animation has been taking so long. I have been busy with work and such. And I've also been animating on Rack Shack and Benny Remolded. Because, like, I'm very excited to be a part of that project. And I've been, like, mainly putting my own animation efforts into that over this channel. But I'm, like, really excited for how that project is coming out. So I hope you're looking forward to that. And I hope to get, like, this finished sometime within the next month, hopefully. I just need to make the free time. And I have to, like, even everything out. Because, like, I haven't even put in the little buffalo that's a part of the animation. Right here. It's like it just says placeholder on the cube.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun model to see.
Yeah.
I love the way the larger buffalo looks.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit some difficulties in the project, but it's going to get finished. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see that when it happens.
Yeah. Alright. So, I did not have an ending screen prepared because I had originally planned on doing something else, but...
Yeah, could you maybe pull up my channel so I could maybe plug my stuff before we go?
Yes, I will put your channel in the description. And,
yeah. I do video essays. It's been a while since I've uploaded anything. In fact, I think it's been over a year now because I've been working on the longest video I've ever made by several country miles. And I'm working on a big long video. It's going to be multiple parts about Disney XD's Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. The Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon was something I grew up on. It introduced me to Spider-Man, and it was a big, fun thing that I've been working on this for over a year. I have like script mostly written, and I'm gonna try and get this thing out in the next couple of months, like at the very least the first part. I've recorded like season 1, all the stuff for season 1 and 2, well, most of the stuff for season 2, and I'm just working on punching up the script for the last bit of season 2 stuff. And then I'm gonna once I've gotten all the audio for it done, I'm gonna start editing the video for it when I get a new computer, which will hopefully be soon, because editing the video on my current computer is like trying to just paint an entire house with finger painting.
Yep.
So I'm waiting on what I can afford, the upgrade that I've got brewing. But when I get that upgrade PC, I'll go to town on the editing, and hopefully it'll get done. Also, if you could go to the video section, scroll through some of the content I've made. A lot of it, a lot of this video I'm not super proud of because I tried rushing it out before Xenoblade 3 released because, as you might be able to tell by some details in my icon, I am a massive shill for the Xenoblade series, and you can also see that throughout like the rest of my content, like that one Fiora meme that I made, and the Xenoblade 2 character ranking video. Xenoblade is something that gives me a lot of serotonin, and just trying to get it out before Xenoblade 3 release didn't result in a very good video, but I'm hoping that I will outclass everything I've ever made in this Ultimate Spider-Man video. But anyways, back to you, Crystal. Thanks for letting me indulge myself.
Yeah, no problem. I will leave Pin's YouTube channel and her Instagram in the video description. Sorry.
Not my Instagram.
Oh.
Not my Instagram. That's personal.
Okay, sorry. I'll cut that out.
Yeah.
All right. So.
And my yeah, I'm not really on any social. I'm not really on any. I guess my Tumblr is the only thing I'm even remotely active on right now, because X is absolute shithole, and Blue Sky is a cool kids club right now. So it's just like there's nothing going on, so I barely use it.
Yeah. So I'll leave that in the YouTube channel in the description. Yeah. Thank you for coming to the stream, everyone. I'm sorry it didn't really turn out exactly as perfectly as I planned. Like, I probably didn't sound that great at multiple points, but I'm hoping that it's something I can improve on. So,
yeah, well, you know what they say, plans are useless, planning is essential.
Yes. So, I believe that's it. Goodbye.